you know how you give a 70-year-old a smoking hot body?
How?
Cremation. My grandson says that's the best dad joke he's ever heard. Okay, City Clerk, let's call it to order.
City Council Member, Agency Director, Authority Member Hughes Leslie.
Present.
Molly.
Present.
Mann.
Present.
Vice Mayor, Vice Chairman Christ.
Present.
Mayor, Chairman Paris.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. The invocation tonight is Matt Dumas from Central Christian Church.
All right, let's pray. Father, we thank you so much for today and for the opportunity that we have just to be here this day. Lord, we thank you for the breath that you give us, the life that we have, and Lord, the opportunities each and every day to represent you. And I thank you for these men and women who have given of their time to serve this community. Lord, I thank you for their faithfulness, and I pray that the decisions that they make this evening would bring honor and glory to you. I thank you for the folks that are here today. Lord, I pray that in somehow, in some way, Father, if they don't know you, that one day that they would come to know you through your Son, Jesus. Lord, we thank you for your love and the way it was demonstrated on the cross by your Son. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
If you ever want to have fun, give Ross some coffee, then have him do that was inappropriate. But true. Okay. We have 3 presentations tonight. Jason, you want to take it over?
Sure. The first one I'm going to turn over to Sonia, I believe. Oh, Sydney, I'm sorry. Sydney, number 1. Sydney can take over the presentation.
Good evening, Mayor Paris, illustrious council members. Our economic development team is very happy to be here tonight to present an update on our efforts over the past year. Every May, the International Economic Development Council celebrates Economic Development Week, so we thought it an appropriate time to update you. First, we'd like to introduce our team under the leadership of Larissa De La Cruz as our director, myself as assistant director. We have Sydney Yaceta, our assistant manager, Joshua Thomas, supervisor of our film office, and Michael Flores, our coordinator, who unfortunately was unable to be here tonight. Lancaster, as you well know, has absolutely exploded with development over the past year. We have seen huge increases in all sectors of the economy. We have, despite some of the drags on interest rates and things like that in the real estate market, we have seen developers continue to be very bullish about the Lancaster economy. Our unemployment rates have remained low, job creation has remained strong, and we have seen incredible growth in terms of housing, in terms of industrial, and in terms of commercial. So these are a few of our premier projects this year. We have 420 unit development over near Front Row Center, which is on the corner of Lancaster Boulevard and 30th Street West. You may have had the opportunity to attend the groundbreaking. That's done by Guardian Capital, who has done a number of market rate developments throughout Southern California and is a premier developer. In addition, we have under contract 27 acres of Front Row Center with Greens Group. They're going to be building over 600 units of market rate with some affordable housing as well, along with 2 hotels and supportive commercial. And in Foxfield, it's no secret that we have had millions of square feet of development in the pipeline out there, which takes us to our next slide. Over 6.9 million square feet of industrial is currently in the pipeline. Much of this is distribution, logistics, warehousing, and we expect literally thousands of jobs to enter the Lancaster economy as the first of these groundbreakings begin to take place in the coming months. In addition, we have obviously substantial increases in renewable energy projects that are in the pipeline, hydrogen leading the way, and we have the Eastside overlay that was recently completed so that we can pave the way for new hydrogen utility scale development out there. In addition, our team has led the way for a number of transactions this year. So this is city-owned land only, so we have some other, like the Housing Authority and things like that are separate from this list. We've had about 250,000 square feet of vacant land sold, a return of almost $600,000 in this fiscal year alone that has closed, as well as parcels declared surplus, which were 54 this year. And that's the beginning of the Surplus Land Act process that allows us to sell those parcels for development.
Could you go back
Ooh.
a slide?
I do not know what happened. I apologize.
Slide.
That concludes our presentation.
Can we go back to small business support? There we go. All right, did you
One
want
more.
the slide prior? One more? Thank you.
Could you explain to Rex what those are?
What
That is
these
funny.
transactions were?
No, I think he means the shovels, but
I'll let our illustrious vice mayor handle that. All right, so we did have several transactions with Antelope Valley Transit Authority that the council had approved. We were procuring land on their behalf. We also had some activity in the Lancaster Business Park. We had several parcels that were left over from the Morton manufacturing transaction. So those are now under contract and moving forward. One of them was just submitted to planning for approval. And those are moving forward. We also have in total about $7 million worth of land sales that are in escrow currently. The way we structure our deals is that we want to ensure there's no land flipping going on. We want to ensure that when the city sells land, it's for development, it's going to create a positive amenity for the community. So those are locked up in contracts. However, we have not closed on them yet, pending them being ready to build. So those will happen in the coming 2 years or so. Small business support. This is another cornerstone of our economic development efforts. Small businesses really comprise the backbone of our local economy and of the American economy. And studies have shown that a 1% increase in entrepreneurialism corresponds with a 2% decrease in poverty. So obviously this is a huge priority for us. We have partnered with this.
say that again.
A 1% increase in entrepreneurialism in a given economy corresponds to a 2% decrease in the poverty rate. We have partnered with the Small Business Development Center to provide a wide range of services to our local small businesses. This includes free one-on-one counseling, workshops, webinars, things of that nature. So you can get, if you're just starting out in your business or if you're well established and need, to pick someone else's brain, they have counselors who have established several multi-million-dollar businesses and are ready and there for you, free consulting to give you whatever you may need to help take your business to the next level. That's one partnership we've created. We also have our small business incubator that helps people get off the ground. So we are able to provide creative leasing structures so that we can help them get started. In addition, we this year had our first small business startup series led by Josh, and we had 117 small businesses participate in that. That was another partnership with the Small Business Development Center, and the structure was that they would provide a wide range of classes available for everything you would need to know to start a successful business. Everything from business planning, accounting, marketing, you name it. And at the end of this, once they'd completed a sufficient number of classes, they would become eligible to compete in our Blooming Poppies Small Business Pitch Competition. So this is a Shark Tank style competition. We were fortunate to have Ken Mann sit on our panel of experts who were able to award funds for this. We had 6 finalists that day, and they awarded $10,000 in prizes to 3 businesses. We're excited to be doing that again this next year. With that, I will hand it over to Sydney Aceta to talk about some of our other Shop Local campaigns.
Thank you, Shannon. Good evening, Mayor Paris, Vice Mayor Chris, and members of the council. I'm super excited to be up here to talk about our Open Rewards Shop Local program. But first, I'm going to take a brief step back. I apologize. I think most of you guys have heard about our COVID programs, but I know we have one new face, and I think it's important to take a look back at where we had been to get to where we are now. So our award-winning Lancaster Stand Strong program, our package included the Small Business Loan Program, Operation Jumpstart, Reopening Assistance Program, the Youth Sports Loan Program, the Restaurant Rescue Package, and all of our other Shop Local initiatives. This package injected millions of dollars into the local economy and solidified council's commitment to our community. Thank you. So with all of these programs, I think our standout program was the Restaurant Rescue Package. Even the International Economic Development Council thought so when they gave us an award back in 2021. This program kind of launched the beginning of our Shop Local efforts and brought us to where we are today. That program began with 56 participating businesses, and it was focused mainly on those in the food industry, so our restaurants, wineries, and breweries. This kind of came at the cusp of LA County shutting their doors again. But we have since expanded to over 400 locally owned businesses. Although this program was extremely successful, the Shop Local cards were a little bit burdensome for our business owners and city staff. Business owners had to opt into the program. They had to train their employees on how to use it, and then they had to wait for the city to reimburse them. I will give a shout out to our finance team who worked very tirelessly to issue checks very quickly, but it was still a lot of work on both the city and business owners' part.
How did we measure the success of that program?
We looked at the number of vouchers that were turned in and then kind of guesstimated the ROI on how much would have been put back into the economy through looking at receipts, how much people spent with those voucher cards.
I would like a better analysis, maybe from a third party, demonstrating that it was either successful or not successful. But I want it to be factual and irrefutable, whatever that result is. Not that I don't trust what you're saying, it's just I need some rigorous analysis of it, okay?
Understood. The
Didn't
great,
we have our sales tax analysis look at it?
Yes.
And the sales tax analysis ranked us #1 in the state as far as recovery.
What I want is I want a report that nobody can argue with as to whether that program was successful in saving businesses or was not. Thank you.
the great thing about that is that kind of segues into where we're at now. Thank you. So in an effort to alleviate some of those burdens, kind of be able to measure our success and make the program a little bit more accessible, we partnered with Blue Dot Technologies to launch a smartphone application in December of 2022. That application is called Shop Local Open Rewards. And our economic development staff was able to automatically enroll over 400 businesses into the program. And they don't have to do a thing. Everything is handled by the consumer inside the app. Once they download it and create an account, they can upload photos of their receipts or link it straight to their bank account to automatically accrue rewards. And then those rewards can be redeemed by making purchases at other qualified businesses. And again, this all happens inside the app. So businesses might not even be aware that their consumers are using the app. But in order to educate our consumers and the businesses, we've worked on varied marketing and promotional strategies, which include educating businesses, providing them toolkits on how the program works, creating social media and Outlook content, and launching campaigns to increase the percentage of rewards that you get back when you make a purchase. So standard, you get 5% back for every purchase, up to $50. But during the holidays, for example, we did a 25 days of Shop Local where consumers received 25% back rewards on their purchases between December 1st and December 25th. We still also have our Shop Local cards that can be distributed at city and community events, but instead of redeeming those directly at the business, they're redeemed within the app and in the person's account to be able to be spent. So speaking of wanting to see what that looks like, in just over a year, the Open Rewards has had a tremendous success. We have almost 5,000 users and over 23,000 transactions. Of $232,000 worth of city-sponsored rewards, we've seen a return of investment of at least 5 times. We recently celebrated the amazing milestone of $1 million of economic impact. That means that over $1 million has been reinvested into the local business community. I'd like to take a moment to shout out Michael Flores, who Shannon mentioned is not here, and Adrian Howard, who's in the back. The success of this program is heavily attributed to all of their hard work. And although I get to be the face of it for some reason, and my name gets to be on the agenda, it's not me. So anytime you hear something great about this program, just know that they are the ones whose hard work, dedication, and creativity is behind it.
So how many people do we have participating?
We have over 5,000 users, or almost 5,000, 4,965.
We've got 180,000 people.
We're working on it. Our goal is to get every resident to have an account.
What's the plan?
So we're going to continue our marketing efforts. The next Outlook has an ad ready to go. We're looking at, featuring it with our comms team on L28, more social media posts, try to do some webinars, get out there. At city events, we have people that talk about the program. We have flyers. We're distributing flyers to participating businesses. So I don't know if you guys have shopped at the Whole Wheatery lately, but they've been a champion of this program and have really started to get their consumers to download the app and understand how it works. We also have a refer a friend program. So if you refer, both parties get a reward. So trying to push out the word as much as possible.
How long have we been doing this?
It launched in December of 2022. So year and some change, year and a half,
2 years?
almost 2 years, about a year and a half.
And we have less than 5,000 people?
A lot of people were used to the cards, and so because we still have the cards, we're trying to continue to educate them and get the word out of how to use the app. Some people were a little hesitant at first, but once they download it, once we walk them through it, they are a lot more receptive to it.
Okay, thank you.
As you can see, with each transaction, users are able to answer a question as to whether the app inspired them to shop locally, and 77% of users report that the app did encourage them to spend their money locally. Not only is it stimulating local spending, it's also creating a space for residents and consumers to find businesses that they didn't already know about. So kind of like a business directory.
Let's go back. So the people that are using that program, how do we measure that they're shopping more in Lancaster?
I'm sorry?
How do we measure that? How do we know that they're shopping more in Lancaster?
Well, by their responses and seeing that they are uploading more receipts for these locally owned businesses.
Explain to me again why this is a good thing for the city.
Because it promotes locally owned businesses and lets consumers know that the city supports our small business community. It gets the word out there about our small businesses and motivates people. Instead of going to Palmdale to eat dinner, they might instead have a date night in Lancaster.
We're not supposed to say that anymore.
Instead of going to Santa Clarita
friends
to go
now.
on a date night, they might choose to go to a business in Lancaster instead.
Okay. Well, how do we, is it the uptick in the sales tax that pays for the program?
So we had originally, council had approved $500,000 to go into this program, and so that was back in 2022. So we are still using that $500,000. We've only spent about $232,000 in rewards.
But does it get offset by the increase in the sales?
I would say yes.
We did the math, and
I believe so.
Well, the program is originally funded out of the general fund. That's how we funded the program initially, and we are seeing in those last 2 years we are seeing an increase in sales tax. Is it attributable to specifically to this program? Yes and no, but we are seeing a slight uptick in the last 2 years in sales tax production. This year, it's projected to be fairly flat. Be interested to see how it performs through the next fiscal year, to see as this activity grows, what's happening, so in particular to that sector of those businesses. And that's where, to answer the question earlier, can we measure the performance of small businesses during that time? Yes, we finally have data for the last 3 years that we can take a look at how the small businesses sustained who took participated in our programs versus those that didn't, and see how they performed. When everybody else was going down, did they sustain? And that's something that we now have data for the last 2 or 3 years we can actually measure. We'll look at 5,000 users, where, yeah, the total sales tax is $27 million for the general fund. What impact does this program have on that? Probably some, but we'll be able to tell if we dig into the data, look specifically at those businesses and see how they individually performed. And we have the data. We'll be able to do it.
You know, it's no secret that it's being scrutinized. I want to know. I want to know how we did the analysis. I want to know how it benefited the city. I want to know. And I want it so that it's clear to anybody who wants to read the report. When can I get the report?
Well, let us talk to some consultants who can do that, and that can get you a better timeline. But it's not going to be done internally. We'll have a third party come and do the analysis, and then that'll take some time. But let me talk to some consultants, and I'll get you a timeline.
Next meeting?
Sure. Well, it won't be done by next meeting, but
No,
hopefully we'll have a contractor by then, yes.
Even I wouldn't.
Okay. Just making sure.
All right, good. Thank you.
All right, and then lastly, these successes don't just stop within our local community. We've inspired other cities across the nation to invest in their small businesses through the use of the Blue Dot partnership. Las Vegas, everyone's favorite, of all places, has been known to emulate a lot of our promotions. But we shouldn't be surprised because Lancaster has paved the way many times before. So with that, I will pass it over to Josh to talk about new businesses, Destination Lancaster, and the film office.
Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon, Council.
That was excellent, by the way. I mean, I know I'm throwing questions at you, but it was excellent.
Good afternoon, Mayor Paris and Vice Mayor Chris and Council. I'm Joshua Thomas with the Economic Development Department. So I'm just going to introduce you to a few new businesses that we've had come into the city of Lancaster. First off, we have Ulta Beauty, helping to fill sort of the beauty gap here in Lancaster. We've had the Smart and Final, which is definitely a welcome back business that we've had a few years ago here in Lancaster. Really does help with a lot of the bulk shopping sort of needs out here in Lancaster. It helps with some of the small businesses to be able to go get their quick little goods. If they need an extra set of to-go containers, they're able just to run over to Smart Final and grab it. So it's definitely been a welcoming asset to our small business community. Also, too, we have the Tractor Supply Company, definitely to help continue to support with our rural community out in Quartz Hill. It was definitely a welcomed business, definitely with a diverse range of products. Okay. As a member of our Destination Lancaster board, I sit on the staff board member with Destination Lancaster, and as a board, we decided to add in the flock camera system to 4 participating hotels in Lancaster. We're going to start out with it's a pilot program. We're going to start out with Holiday Inn, Spring Hill Suites, Best Western, and Comfort Inn. We're really hoping that it will help increase guests' confidence in staying at local hotels, provide more community-wide safety, and just basically be more of an add-on to what we currently have with our flock camera system. Okay. One other aspect here with Destination Lancaster is definitely their lovely support of Lancaster is our Play Easy software. What that is it is a software, it's an event management sports tourism software where the user could go, as a city, we can put all of our facilities on there, like our soccer fields, our baseball fields, the Mark Center eventually, and as a tour director, they can go online and they can see oh, Lancaster has 35 soccer fields. Let's put in a bid to see if we can move our tournament there or host our conferences or host our softball tournaments there with this software. So with the Destination Lancaster sponsorship, we were able to pilot it this year to see how it works for us. Okay, so I operate the film office as well as the film liaison for the city of Lancaster. So I've done that for the last 7 years. Pauline East was our former film liaison. She is still our commissioner for the Antelope Valley. With that, we've issued this year, just due to the strike, we were a little low on film permits. So the first quarter, we were only able to do 10 film permits. But since this presentation, we have added a few more this year. We had a nice little economic impact, about $27,000 this year into the general fund. And we booked about 54 hotel rooms with local scouts and scouts from Los Angeles. And with the generous support of Destination Lancaster, we've been able to provide welcome gift bags to the location scouts, directors, anybody staying in our hotels. So we've had a few hotels just reach out. They were able to book about 30 rooms with some of our gift bags, and they were very excited. And it's paid off for the city of Lancaster.
How do we set the price for the permits?
The permits, they're very reasonably priced. We're looking, so we currently do all of our permitting through a company called Film LA. What that does is it's a larger company in Los Angeles. A lot of cities partner with them, and it allows the location manager to be able to go to one sort of a general place. If, say, you're filming in Los Angeles, you're able to add, like, they just need maybe a desert road, they can add us onto a permit, so they don't have to drive all the way out here. So it's a little more convenience. We're looking at if we end up becoming more of a popular destination tourism for filming, if we start getting sound stages and stuff like that, we would be able to pull that back into house and just do our own permitting, similar to what Santa Clarita does.
How is the pricing set?
Oh, prices are set. They were set a while ago. So pricing right now for a basic film permit, it's very nominal. It's about $150 for the production. And then they pay all encroachment fees, road use fees, staff fees, facility fees. So we get that directly back to us, and then we receive a check for the permits from Film LA.
Is there any attempt for us to be more competitive with other cities in regards to the fees they have to pay?
Yeah, I've been looking. So we are competitive with I believe with our fees to the city to the south. Santa Clarita has sort of a different price structure, I think, being that they have more film ranches and film studio sets. So their prices sort of do vary, but we're looking at possibly doing some sort of research on all the permits throughout the city and the different cities to see if we are comparable.
Well, my thinking is, I mean, they bring in a huge amount of money, when they come.
Correct.
Right?
Yes,
And they
yes.
spend it all in the local economy. I don't know why we charge anything.
Yeah, we can definitely look at that option as well and make that more of a, I guess we'd push it more of as an incentive. Hey, come to Lancaster, we're permit free. And then we cover the cost of, I guess, facilities and locations is what they're usually accustomed to paying. If you want to continue for the city facility.
Am I reasoning correct, Jason?
Yeah, I think the $150 is nominal, if anything.
It's not the 150
Yeah.
I'm thinking about. It's, when you got to pay for police officers, you got to, I mean, we put a lot of requirements on them, and I'm wondering if there's some way we can just let them do that.
Let us evaluate. We can look at it, because I think there's some opportunities to do incentives for exchange for a return. So if you're going to rent Jethawk Stadium, which a lot of times it's filmed, there's a cost to Jethawk Stadium. And we can identify what the return is to us and maybe do special arrangements and create that flexibility so that we have that opportunity, but it'd be through an agreement of some kind. But we can look at what that flexibility looks like. Make sure we're compliant with all the rules and regulations.
Okay. Yeah, we'll get you some
Thank you.
research. Hopefully by the next meeting or so, we'll get you some research.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to Shannon Dowell, and she's going to close us out.
Thank you.
And to wrap things up, we just have a quick glimpse at what you can expect for the next fiscal year. So a few of our new projects, in addition to continuing the previous programming we've discussed, we'll be launching a new economic development website in Q3 of this year, and that will be geared specifically towards site selectors and businesses who are looking to grow or relocate to the city of Lancaster. So rather than our main city website that's obviously oriented toward residents, this will have your demographic data, all of the information you might need to relocate here. Small Business Month we will be doing in September, so this will be a huge spotlight on our local businesses. We'll be leveraging that Shop Local app and spotlighting our local small mom and pop businesses. We'll also be collaborating with organizations like the Boulevard Association to promote small business and doing a number of marketing efforts with our communications team during that month. In addition, under the council's leadership, we will be putting together a restaurant grant program. We expect to have that for your consideration within the next month or so. And we'll be looking at ways to increase the number of new restaurant startups in the city of Lancaster. And finally, we'll be launching a formalized business retention program. So that will be designed to look at the fact that despite the number of the changing number of new jobs created by existing businesses, 100% of jobs lost in a given economy come from existing businesses. So we want to make sure we're retaining everything we already have and looking for new opportunities for the businesses that are already here to grow and add on to their existing staff so that we can continue to drive the economy here in Lancaster and create better opportunities for our residents. So we'll be unveiling that in the coming months. We are all available for any questions you may have.
Thank you. You did a wonderful job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions? Okay, let's move on. What's this proclamation for Older American Month? Is that for Ken? I mean, is that an inside deal to?
We want to celebrate our wise and wonderful older Americans. And for that, proclamation of Assistant Director Victoria Reyna, who will present.
You better not be giving me one of those.
No, sir.
Good evening, Mayor Perez, Vice Mayor Christ, and council members. It is a pleasure to be here today to celebrate and recognize Older Americans Month, a time dedicated to honoring the incredible contributions of our older residents. Since its inception in 1963, Older Americans Month has been a national observance that acknowledges the vital roles seniors play in our communities and the enduring impact of their experience and knowledge. This year's theme, Powered by Connection, highlights the importance of building strong, meaningful connections in the lives of our older adults. It encourages all of us to appreciate the diverse ways our seniors enrich our lives and the community, emphasizing the power of social ties and community engagement in fostering a vibrant, supportive environment. In Lancaster, we are proud to offer a variety of programs and activities that promote the well-being and engagement of our senior residents. Our senior walking club, Movers and Shakers, who have joined us here this evening, provides a wonderful opportunity.
They're all younger than I am.
Provides a wonderful opportunity for seniors to stay active and socialize, fostering both physical health and community connection. Additionally, our senior Zumba classes offer a fun and energetic way for our seniors to stay fit and enjoy music and movement together. Today, we are proud to join the rest of the nation in celebrating Older Americans Month and express our gratitude to our senior community for their enduring contributions. We are especially grateful for the unwavering support from our mayor and city council, who are committed to enhancing the quality of life of all of our residents, particularly our older adults. Their commitment ensures that Lancaster remains a community where seniors are respected, valued, and actively involved. At this time, I would like to invite the mayor to present the proclamation to our participants that have joined us here this evening from our Movers and Shakers Club.
Okay. Do you want the other two older guys?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
If anybody would like to join us.
Whoa, whoa.
Ken's old.
We got the right person going down there.
If we can have our movers and shakers join us for a photo opportunity as well.
The oldest.
Ken should be down there.
The oldest.
$100, $1,000, $10,000, oh man.
The oldest is
Yeah, I didn't think you wanted to.
the oldest is down there.
I announced Movers and Shakers at coffee, but the most traction I
third oldest is to my left.
Third oldest. Whoa. I thought you were gonna put something on the thing for this bike.
No.
Since we have a big group, can we have everyone kind of move towards the back of closer to the dais a little?
If we can have everyone,
Just step back a little bit? Yeah, so that we get everybody in the
that
photo.
way everybody's in the picture.
All right, friend, remember a little, just a little. Be careful.
Besides, I didn't want to be real. Wow.
I know.
Thanks to you.
Remember last time? That was a nice meeting.
Raj, ask the mayor if he needs his oxygen machine.
Huh. Rex seems to be pretty good tonight. He must be drinking Geritol again. Huh.
That's because he was an hour and a half late for our meeting.
Huh.
So he asked me, "Do you need anything?" I said, "Yeah, for you to be on time." Ken wants to know how he can get one of those shirts.
No.
It's okay. My mom said that if they're picked on, that just means they like.
And now we have the Waste Management Sustainability All-Stars. Ashley Cortez is going to.
Okay. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council. I'm Ashley Cortez, Account Manager at WM. Our team is so excited to be here this evening to introduce Lancaster Sustainability's All-Stars. It's a program designed to recognize and highlight local businesses in our community that are demonstrating successful recycling programs. These are businesses that are meeting state regulations. They have the 3 container systems if need be. They're educating their staff on proper sorting and recycling and spreading the message to their customers. So this is a group of people that we're gonna look to recognize, hopefully, once a quarter, just to get in front of the council and the public to raise awareness of proper recycling. And so we're so excited to implement this program, and today's the first one. Like I said, these are businesses that are donating edible food. So if they do have edible food, they're donating that back and it's to the local community. And then, they have the containers they need. So there's different recognition benefits. So today we have a certificate from the City of Lancaster and WM in collaboration for their efforts. We have a storefront sticker that they can put on their storefront to show their customers and the community that they're doing proper recycling. We collaborated with the Lancaster City Communications team on some social media education. So we're super excited. And before I announce this quarter one's winners, we wanted to share a really great video in collaboration with the City of Lancaster. Hi, it's Ashley Cortez, Senior Account Executive with WM, and we're excited to introduce Lancaster's Sustainability All-Stars.
We're amazed that we were doing something without the knowledge of being recognized.
The City of Lancaster and WM are here for businesses to provide educational resources and guidance on how to set up successful recycling programs. WM offers dedicated recycling reps out in the field to help businesses with right-sizing their containers and also developing education for their staff to properly sort. We went through a comprehensive process as far as seeing who has successful recycling programs in place, seeing who has edible food recovery programs, so donation of edible food to local organizations that goes back into our community.
One of the things we do here in the grocery department is we recover the edible food for donation. We donate to Desert Vineyard and we also donate to Salvation Army.
The whole goal of Sustainability All-Stars is to share a positive message, to get the word out to the business community that it is doable.
As a mom, I think it's important that we recycle and that we keep the environment healthy and as safe as possible for our children and the future generations.
So in the coming months, you'll see us come to council with new businesses every quarter to showcase the different efforts taking place right here in our community. Like I said, we want to create a positive message and educate the business community that we're here. We have dedicated recycling reps out in the field to assist. The City of Lancaster has dedicated people that are here to answer questions and provide resources as well. So we just think it's an all-around great program, and we're so excited to introduce it today. And we have our quarter one businesses in the house with us this evening. So we have, and I want to invite my team up, Ashley and Quincy, who are recycling reps here in the community. And we want to bring up our quarter one Sustainability All-Stars in Lancaster. We have Vic and Courtney from Prestige Assisted Living. We have Anthony with Sprouts Farmers Market. And we have Helen and Maria with Jack in the Box, the one on West Avenue I, Valley Central Way. So we have those, and if we could give them a round of applause. Come on up. So we have these certificates, and like we said, the storefront stickers. We'd love to get a photo with a few council members in honor of their efforts. But that's our program, and we're so excited to introduce it to you guys this evening.
I'm wondering if we should do it up here.
Yeah, is that okay?
Just bring everybody out.
Let's go ahead and do that. This way?
She did.
Get Raj on that program.
Move down about 2 feet.
Good? I'm good. I'm sorry, one more, just a little bit more.
Okay, I think that concludes the presentations. Is that right? Anything on the consent calendar we want to remove?
Yes, we have CC 21 to be remarked as NB2 and CC 23 to be remarked as NB3.
Do that again.
Okay, CC 21 for the meeting schedule, we're going to take that into open session under NB2.
Right.
And CC 23, which is the hydrogen purchases, take that into open session under NB3.
Great. Thank you. Any speaker cards?
No speaker cards on the consent calendar. So
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion that we accept the consent calendar as currently comprised, pulling CC 21 and CC 23.
I'll second that motion.
Let's vote. Passes unanimously. Okay. Let's open the public hearing on PH1. Do we have any speaker cards?
No speaker cards.
Let's waive the staff report. Anybody want the staff report?
It's just about the bonds. It's not affecting the city.
Okay. Is there a motion?
You need to close the
Close the
public
Oh, I
public
got to
hearing.
close the public hearing.
hearing.
Eventually, what, 16 years?
I'll move-
By the time I hit 20, I'll probably get it down.
I'll move PH1.
Is there a second?
Second that?
Let's vote. And it passes unanimously. Moving on to new business item 1. Approve introduction of the ordinance establishing a flag policy. We'll now hear from Jason Cottle on that.
Ordinance and put to craft an ordinance that depoliticizes our flagpoles in the front. The primary goal of this policy is to designate and clarify that city flagpoles are not intended to serve as a form of free expression or speech but by the public. Instead, they are to be used to display the official flags approved by the city council. This policy will outline the specific flags are permitted on city flagpoles, which include the United States flag, State of California flag, the County of Los Angeles flag, and the City of Lancaster flag, and any flags that you may choose as a city council.
Would this include, you know, the JPAs like ABTA, things like that?
The ordinance does not have authority over their flagpoles. It's just this is a city ordinance for our flagpoles.
This is the city controlling its own property.
Well, I understand that,
Yeah.
but how do I assert authority over the JPAs we belong to?
We'll do that.
That would be something that would be brought up by the boards of those JPAs.
You'll take care of that?
I'll take care of it.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Shouldn't be a problem.
Any speaker cards?
None.
Any questions? Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve the, or introduce the new ordinance establishing flag policy.
I'll second that.
Let's vote. Passes unanimously.
CC 21. CC 21.
Okay, CC 21, which is now NB2, is that right? And who's doing that presentation?
I am.
Good.
Good evening, Mayor Paris, Vice Mayor Christ. Before you for and Council, before you for consideration this evening is a resolution repealing the existing resolution, establishing the meeting date and time for Lancaster City Council meetings, and establishing new dates and times for those council meetings, changing the meeting time from 5 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. as a general matter on the second and fourth Tuesday of each month to enhance overall accessibility and participation in city council meetings. This will accommodate a broader range of participants, allow for a flexible attendance. This is aimed to foster greater community involvement. This resolution also accommodates the several timeframes in which we do not meet to allow for such things as the Poppy Festival, elections, and the like. So the resolution is consistent with our existing schedule, except it changes the time to 1:30.
Thank you. Any questions?
Can we make adjustments to this?
Can you adjust the resolution? Absolutely.
Just a motion, can I make a motion adjusting it? See if there's a second.
Well, tell me what your adjustment's going to be.
I would like a meeting in March, first meeting in March, and the first meeting in November to be held at 5 o'clock so we can do presentations.
Okay.
Okay. So in the event that you determine to move approval, it would simply be to move approval of the resolution revising the time for the first meeting in March, or the only meeting in November, to 5 p.m. to allow for such presentations as may be appropriate.
Correct. That way we can still do presentations to the youth that can still make it.
Excellent. Okay.
I'll make that motion.
I second that. Okay. So do we have to vote on the change, or can we just do it with it?
No, the motion was to approve the resolution with the change. It got a second, so if you vote yes, you are voting to approve the resolution as changed.
Okay, good. Thank you. Let's vote. And it passes unanimously.
CC 23.
So NB3, the new NB3, which was CC 23, the Clean Hydrogen Purchase Agreement.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We have a short slide presentation. This agreement gave us the opportunity to give you an update on some of the work we've been doing in hydrogen. And it is a historic moment today of what we're doing with hydrogen. As you know, we've been engaged in a very lengthy and deep conversation with many developers doing renewable hydrogen. And the key there is renewable hydrogen, because that's what's important to the state of California. We're focusing on three different categories. One is production of hydrogen, and we have three different projects that are currently in process for production. Heliogen is one of them. SGH2 is a waste-to-energy project, and Element, which is the contract you're approving tonight for the procurement of hydrogen off their facility. Element is a photovoltaic electrolytic hydrogen project, the largest currently in the state. We also have a couple R&D projects we're working on. This is just a sample of those. Each meeting we attend and each opportunity as we communicate what Lancaster is as it relates to hydrogen, we get new research and development opportunities. The two that we're working on closely with now is Recarbon, who is taking sanitation gas or sewer gas from the sanitation district, converting that to hydrogen, and that it would be renewable hydrogen based on the type of gas they're using. In addition, Dash Energy is a company we're working with that is going to take grid-connected hydrogen, make it, and then use that as storage of electricity. So they store the hydrogen, run that through a fuel cell, and then we, Lancaster Energy, will be procuring those electrons to use as the grid and delivering those services. So that's a green hydrogen project. We're also working on the transportation of this. If you look back at those projects I just mentioned, they're going to be generating a significant amount of hydrogen that's going to be beyond our use locally. The key there is how are they going to export that commodity out of Lancaster? There's a couple ways they do it. There's two, by road or by rail. The city already owns and has acquired land around a rail spur, and we're working with the developers now to deliver an inland port for hydrogen and using that as a resource to deliver hydrogen out of Lancaster. It's likely that the ports will likely be the first large demand for hydrogen, so it's likely these rails will be entering the ports to deliver hydrogen at those locations. Also focusing on transportation, just recently Chevron has submitted plans to develop a fueling station at 10th and K8. We're looking forward to that because we already have a fleet. As you know, one of our fleet is a police car. I think we have 12 others that we're looking for to integrate into our fleet, as well as now the fueling station working closely with the Air Quality Management District, and as well as looking at off-highway options as it relates to decarbonizing other members' fleets, as well as incentivizing the purchase of hydrogen vehicles locally. We also have one, it's a hydroplane, which is a fun one. They're actually converting a plane at Foxfield and hoping to fly that soon. I know we've been saying soon for a while, but they're working through some of the grant opportunities and some of the challenges they're facing. But we look to have hydrogen-powered flight out of Foxfield.
Has that plane not flown yet?
Has not flown yet, no.
Why
They've been testing, ground testing, so the propellers are moving, and I think there's a whole lot of testing they have to do for FAA and other things like that. Not exactly, it's not a technology story. And then Element Fuels, which you've already talked about, is looking at a fueling station on their site as well. They anticipate Element exporting their hydrogen in hydrogen-powered trucks. So they will have a heavy-duty fueling station at their site to export trucks or export the commodity on trucks themselves. So that's going to be an exciting conversion that's going to be going on.
I thought we were the off-taker.
We're the off-taker of a portion of a large portion of their demand is we're taking, so about half of it. They are very large, they're 22,000 tons of hydrogen a year, so it's a very large capacity. But what's really significant about what we're doing and what we're going to be using this hydrogen for is to try to develop off-grid settings for us to be able to power buildings with hydrogen as a public utility. One of the projects we're working on right now is a grant received by the Japanese government of $15 million to power the event center. That's in partnership with a number of Japanese companies and developers in conjunction with the city of Lancaster to do a heavy-duty fueling station, as well as fuel cells and resiliency for that facility, the goal being that it'd be an off-grid facility, that it completely be powered by hydrogen, and hopefully hydrogen generated locally. We're also working closely with a residential developer, Ravello Holdings, to look at a 500-unit residential development that can be powered by hydrogen. And in essence, the first phase of the analysis is identifying that solar on the rooftops creates enough electrons to power the entire neighborhood. A portion of those electrons will be stored in batteries, but there'll also be a fuel cell and hydrogen storage on site to help power the buildings in case there's no sun and the batteries are depleted. So there really is a unique opportunity to power entire neighborhoods. I know the mayor has said if we're successful in this venture, it will likely be the new standard, not only in Lancaster, but guaranteed the new standard in California. And so we're in initial analysis that it can be done physically with the number of electrons generated on the facility. Now we're doing the economic analysis to determine that it can be done economically. And that's going to be the key, and we hope to have that done this month, or in June, we'll have those numbers ready to share.
That means cheaper than the grid. Right?
Cheaper, yeah. The goal would be cheaper than Edison, right? Ideally without subsidy, but that's what we got to identify is what the business case looks like, and then identify grants and other subsidies that might help accommodate that. And then once those numbers have been determined, we'll have the opportunity to then compare that to industrial sites. As Shannon mentioned earlier, we've got close to 7 million square feet of industrial space that's in the process of developing. The goal would be is to take those off grid as well. The unique opportunity with them is they are going to be required to have decarbonized their fleets as well. They also have hydrogen-powered forklifts in some of these facilities. So not only will this hydrogen be able to power their facility from an electrical perspective, it also has the opportunity to power their forklifts, as well if they're taking a long-haul trucking, they'll be able to fill their trucks on site. So they'll have basically a microgrid, so to speak, of hydrogen for not only electricity, but also transportation uses. And of course, this story we tell is that there's an opportunity here because your council is committed to economic development and committed to see this program move forward. So you've already done some of the heavy lifting as it relates to zoning and changes in the east side of town where we're seeing the majority of this development. And so we like to tell people that if you want to test your site here, you want to manufacture hydrogen, you want to do something different, Lancaster's a spot to do it because we can do it quick, we'll do it effective, and we understand the hydrogen industry because of the money, the time and energy we've been spending on it. And then lastly, we have the incubator at the business park that we will be working on and remodeling it, identifying that as a hydrogen hub for economic development opportunities as an incubator for hydrogen businesses. This is a unique opportunity. We were just talking last week with a hydrogen storage company who stores it in wells, underground wells that are sealed wells that have certain benefits. Those types of companies are looking for places to manufacture those facilities, as well as even as early as today, we're meeting with an electrolyzer manufacturer who wants to look for places to manufacture electrolyzers. So not only are we looking at hydrogen as a commodity that we can sell for electrons and transportation, we'll also see this as kind of a lift from an economic development perspective to get those people who make fuel cells. Rex has developed a great relationship with the Toyota guys. Having Toyota say, you want to make your fuel cell, make it here. You want to make an electrolyzer, make it here as well. You want to manufacture hydrogen, you can manufacture it here. So there's so many opportunities in this field, and we're early in the space, so we're looking forward to that. And developing great relationships with the ports. As I mentioned before, oftentimes the load or the off-taker, the demand, is not going to be solely from Lancaster. There's also going to be large demands from other people. We're hoping to broker that energy in conjunction with the ports. Oftentimes government entities like to deal with government entities, so we can be that broker or that middleman from a standpoint of assisting them in delivering a project and changing what's happening at the ports. At the same token, the relationship with the trades in there is very close because there are different types of training that needs to happen, different type of training at the ports as it relates to usage of hydrogen and storage of hydrogen versus what's going to happen in the valley here, where it's going to be more of a manufacturing story. So we have opportunities with the trades to look at training our population in two different scenarios from a hydrogen industry perspective. And of course, our role, trying to identify alternative demand. We talked about the utility as an option. Financing, I think there's unique opportunities that we present from a bankability perspective. And then, of course, we're local governments. Dealing with local governments have a greater relationship and an easier sell with other local governments if we want to partner. Very similar to what we did with CalChoice and Lancaster Energy. And of course, developing labor and training. Worked really hard in developing relationships with many other government entities and research institutions and engineering firms and countries in creating partnerships in that. And again, on tonight, you had forming the nonprofit with NAMIE and Hawaii on there tonight as well, developing those international partnerships as well. So this is the picture of the mayors, the leaders. We met last week with these, not the mayors, but the staffs of these entities, and looking at identifying these three cities as the international research and development hub for hydrogen. They provide unique opportunities in Japan, and Hawaii and Lancaster all have unique opportunities to assist in development of hydrogen, whether it be new technologies, implementation measures, and strategies for building hydrogen. So with that, tonight on the agenda is a offtake agreement where we're going to be procuring energy from Element and moving forward and taking this hydrogen effort to the next level. That's all I have.
It's a $68 million off-taker agreement, right?
That's correct. That's the liquid price, but there's also a gas price. So there's two different prices on liquid. And, yeah, but yes, if we buy liquid, it's $68 million. If we buy gas, it's 54. But it is a significant step in us decarbonizing, literally, California.
So what's the profit margin on that?
Well, for example, this may not be the best example, so the price in the contract's about $6.50 a kilogram. Right now, they're selling gas at fueling stations for $35 a kilogram. Now, it's not competitive with diesel yet, but the $6.50 is competitive with diesel. And then if you turn it to an electron, that's the analysis we're trying to do from an energy perspective.
Shouldn't we have the analysis by now as to, is it cheaper to be on the grid, or is it going to be cheaper to be with our fuel cells?
That's what we're going to do this month. We hope to have that.
So we'll have that soon?
Yeah, that's the analysis we're doing.
Okay. It only works if it's cheaper and safer.
Correct.
I mean, we know it's safer than natural gas, but is it cheaper?
Yep.
And we'll know that.
And we'll know that.
Okay, good.
And it's a two metric. So if you compare it to a gas fueling station, it's a different metric because you're competing against unleaded fuel. If you compare it against in the electrical space, it's a completely different metric that hasn't been calculated yet. So why it's taken some time to do this calculations, we'll be the first ones doing it. And you have to convert not a kilogram to a gallon, but a kilogram to an electron or a kilowatt hour. So that conversion's a little tricky.
You know, when we were meeting with the state and the Japanese government, an interesting question was posed, you know. They said, how is the state doing their ordinances in regards to alternative energy? Their response was, we just do whatever Lancaster does. I was kind of surprised. We really are leading the nation in it. Okay, thank you.
Great.
This is a huge jump. I mean, what's our budget right now?
Our Lancaster energy budget is about
No. What's the total city budget?
Oh, 300 and something million, 310, 20 million?
Yeah, before you next week is about a $328 million budget citywide.
Okay.
Yeah.
Remember, I want to double the budget without raising taxes, so does this put us on our way there?
Yes.
All right.
And if we can flip it and make some margin on it, that's the goal.
Great, thank you. Any questions? Is there a motion?
Motion to approve NB3, formerly CC23.
Second that.
Let's vote. And it passes unanimously, making history once again. Thank you, Jason. Where am I at?
Council reports.
Council reports. Who wants to start?
I will. We did budgets today at AVTA. It's going to require all three jurisdictions to put in more money to maintain AVTA's portion. We also, it was going to take the County of Los Angeles to up their jurisdictional contribution to even par with Palmdale and Lancaster to maintain their service. So we had a discussion about that and what we're going to do with that. We did have the Sheriff Boosters Casino Night. We had it at the fairgrounds. It was close to 1,000 people. We raised well over $600,000 for our local deputies, and it just shows how much this community backs the sheriff department. So
Marvin was principally responsible for that. That is a huge amount of money for any type of event. I mean, it exceeds everything. You know, I mean, unbelievable.
And to give a car away also.
And you gave a car away?
Yeah.
Another car away?
Brand new.
So who did we give the car away to? I mean, last time it was controversial.
it went to Camacho Mitsubishi in Palmdale.
Yeah,
That's the dealership that awarded the car. That was the car that was selected.
Who got it?
A guy named Estevan Green, which is a local gentleman that works local. His uncle used to be with the Showdown Chefs. He used to cook for them. He passed away 5 years ago, but it was somebody that is very tied to the community and the community locally. And what he did was he took the car for himself. He gave his current car to his niece and nephew that are just getting into school, driving age, and they're going to take his car. So it was very good, and
Everybody won.
everybody won. Everybody did the right things. Waste Management did a good job. So again, it just shows the community support with law enforcement. It was well attended. So I know you had your shoulder surgery and you couldn't attend, but let's talk about that.
You want to talk about my shoulder surgery?
Yeah. No, I think it's important that everybody realizes you were still at work while you had not a rotator cuff surgery, but the entire shoulder was replaced.
Yeah, it was really cool, actually. You know what they do? They call it a reverse shoulder replacement. And they cut off the humeral head, which is, that joint that sticks out, in your humerus. They cut it off, and then they put a plate there. And then they take the ball joint and screw it onto your shoulder blade. It's called a reverse shoulder. That's why they call it a reverse shoulder replacement. And the recovery time was, 3 weeks instead of 3 months. Now, I still have range of motion issues, but, they're resolving rapidly. But within 2 weeks, I was in less pain than I had been in 20 years.
Is it true that you got it from counting your money?
I don't count the money. My wife does that. This is a tough job. You can see, right? Okay.
Mayor Perez, I just wanted to clear, Lauren and I, we went to Memorial Day, and it was a good turnout. It was a really good event. And Ken Mann was really missed over there.
Yes.
They kept talking about you. So we, but it was good to be hang out with all the veterans, and it was really nice. And you want to tell them about your the young breed, young meetings.
Oh, yes. So we had the opportunity to attend the Lancaster Cemetery's Memorial Day ceremony, and we were reminded that we were not Ken Mann, who's been attending for, was it 16 years? Ken, you had never missed a ceremony?
16 years.
16 years.
They kept trying.
So they gave us a hard time. We had to remind them that we too were council members, but they have a program called the Young Marines, and children as young as 8 years old can join this program, and it teaches them self-discipline, teamwork, and it was just a wonderful program. They were there to volunteer, and it was just a wonderful tribute to our men and women who've paid the ultimate sacrifice, protecting our freedoms and what makes our country so great. So Ken was missed. I think we did an okay job filling in, but that was a wonderful way to.
So where was Ken?
The big boss lady had other orders for him.
The wife superseded everybody.
Yes.
No, I know he was at the National, hang on,
The National Olders.
yes, the National Older Americans. He was
my
at
gosh.
He was representing the city of Lancaster for
There you go.
the National Older Americans.
But speaking of recognizing Ken, I want to go back to Marvin. I want to laud him because I know he had a big hand in recognizing our 4.0 GPA students. We celebrated them on May 9th at the Antelope Valley Fairgrounds. And correct me if I'm wrong, Marvin, but it felt like we gave away even more money in scholarships to our students. So every student who received a 4.0 GPA, we got to celebrate them on that night. And if they were there in attendance, they were all put into a random drawing. And everyone from Waste Management, you yourself, Mayor, I know you know, all of us council members.
800 people?
800 people, 800 students.
820. And the most impressive part to me was everyone from this council gave their personal money to add to the scholarship fund.
And how much in scholarships did we give out that night, Marvin?
We gave over a little bit over 140,000.
Yes, so it was a magical night. Yeah, thank you, Ashley. Yeah, it was wonderful. So recognizing our future leaders and all their hard work, staying on our youth. We also had an opportunity to celebrate the Antelope Valley Press Future Leaders. We also had an opportunity to celebrate an event put on by Best Buddies. And I know all of us were able to give them a shout out. And then I want to just laud our Women's Council of Realtors. We got to tie in our economic development team there. I was able to share just all the wonderful things that the City of Lancaster is putting on with regards to economics and bringing in jobs. It was a great group of women encouraging and inspiring each other. But where the City of Lancaster came in is, you know, they're out there selling homes and renting out homes. But where we come in is attracting families and talent to come to our city. So that was a wonderful event. And then with regards to MetroLink, we talked about, Mayor, I know you say this all the time. In addition to being safe, we need to make people feel safe. And I think MetroLink is finally getting on board with that narrative. So while they can give us numbers and they can tell us, MetroLink's safe, MetroLink is safe, they're finally saying, okay, but how do we make our riders feel safe? What can we do? And I know that's in large part to you, Mayor, but also Vice Mayor Chris. They continue to put the gas on the pedal with regards to what are we doing to make our riders feel safe? Because right now the narrative is they don't feel safe.
Why not?
Because historically it hasn't been. And until the City of Lancaster has said, look, we don't feel safe, and until you make our riders feel safe, we're going to take alternate actions. And I think when you guys put that out there into existence, they weren't taking the City of Lancaster serious. And with events like the World Cup coming and the Olympics, I think they are starting to take us serious. And I know we have Metro board members, which is separate from MetroLink. Metro is separate from MetroLink. I don't think they were taking us serious, and that really took a lot of courage from both you and Vice Mayor Chris. So I think the narrative is starting to change. And what's funny is I think other cities and other counties are starting to say that too. At our last budget meeting, someone said, does this new budget reflect increased security? So I know at NCTC and other meetings, these discussions are continuing to happen. So thank you for that. And then lastly, I can't believe we don't have a video, but we just unveiled the crest and the name and the colors and our new coach. Do we have a video?
Yeah, we got it.
Okay, I won't get ahead of myself.
We can play it now, Councilwoman.
Can we play it now?
Yes, we've got both of them.
We are Antelope Valley. We are the Aerospace Valley. We are the AV. We are a valley of 500,000, 13 cities, all interconnected. We are proud families and lifelong friends. We are passionate football fans. From the high desert to the edge of space, surrounded by mountains and focused on the pitch, this is the story of our football club's identity. To build an identity for our club, we started by listening to you. You told us about your passion for the valley, the unique landscape, and the land once known as Alta California. From the sunny days to the star-filled nights, to the poppy fields that filled our city with delight, you told us about the resilience of the Joshua Tree, the aerospace industry, the iconic B-2 bomber, and your dreams of flight. We listen and we learn. Our identity is defined by the unique shape of the poppy. The shield honors both the traditions of the game and the unique beauty of the AV. At the center of the design are the initials AAV, a custom designed typeface inspired by the angles of the B-2 bomber. Our name, AV Alta FC, frames the design. Alta, Latin for elevated, references the high desert, flight, and California's original name. And finally, our club's colors, inspired by the landscape that we know and love. Joshua green and desert sand provide a perfect color combination that feels like home. We are Antelope Valley. We are AV. We are AV Alta FC.
Very good.
I've been following soccer in this country for a long time, and I always watch these crest reveals, and I guarantee you, no one in any league in this country has had a turnout like this.
You are the lifeblood, you're the backbone of this club and this organization. And I think we're on our way to having, I think, the most successful soccer team in all of California, in all of the league.
I grew up going to these games, and I'm so excited to bring my kids and to make memories with them. I can't wait to buy my tickets and cheer on our Antelope Valley team. So let's give it up one more time for our soccer team.
We are AV Alta FC.
My experiences teach me that you can't guarantee championships, but what I can promise everybody here tonight and everybody once the lights go on in the stadium, that we're gonna have epic nights together.
That concludes my brief.
And just for the record, those are Palmdale High's colors.
That's where me and Marvin went.
And Raj.
And Raj.
He went to Quartz Hill.
I went to both.
Oh my! Where did you graduate from?
93 from Quartz Hill.
93, my God.
Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't start the name.
Did you go to Palmdale?
I did go to Palmdale.
That's all we represented.
And then I had to transfer to Quartz Hill.
He didn't get confused.
We didn't talk about a law day. Marvin, I think you should.
Wasn't quite smart enough. Law day?
Law day. That was a good turnout.
It's been a very busy month, especially for the council. Law Day was very good. It was sponsored by the AV Sheriff Boosters. We gave scholarships to the explorers that were at the event, both from Palmdale and Lancaster. We gave scholarships to them. We also gave awards for a speech contest, and the speech contest was very, very good. And it was a very well-run program. All the attorneys were there. And
not all of them.
All of them that were mattered.
Ooh.
So it was good, and it shows that we're a city of law. We're a city that likes our law enforcement. We represented it. The captain was there. He presented several awards. One was to the AV, or to the Lancaster Sheriff Station, which was very, very good. So it was very, very good time. There was 500-600 people there. It was a sold-out event.
Anyone else?
Good.
I have a couple things. I want to figure out how we deal with the ambulances in this city. They are astronomically expensive. They are putting people into dire circumstances financially. I want to know, is it feasible for us to take the ambulance back? Or I guess would we just be taking it? Can we operate it in a more efficient, profitable way, hopefully with the fire department? And I would like to develop a program where we're not filling the emergency room with people who don't need to be there, who get free rides, is essentially what's happening. It's becoming increasingly untenable, the wait in that emergency room, due to people who really have no business being in the emergency room, clogging it up. So I want two things. I want to work with the fire department, figure out how we can better provide the ambulance needs in a way that is economically cost-effective. The AMR has a monopoly on it. They charge pretty much whatever they want to charge, and they're oppressive in how they're dealing with the people who had to use the services. Now, they have a point in that so much of their services go to people who don't need the ambulance and don't pay. And we need to deal with that. I don't know how to approach that, but we have to do it with the fire department because they're the ones that are most equipped to handle it. And we'll have to do it with the county. But I don't want that sitting on the back burner any longer. I'd like that, within 6 months, let's have a plan to move forward. Because it just makes sense to me not to be, it's crazy what's going on over there. The other thing I want us to start paying attention to, a huge number of our children are single-parent families, which means a mother. And I don't see us really addressing their needs as well as we could. So I would like to have a commission form that is real, that is going to take real steps to look at single mother issues and figure out how to alleviate the burden somewhat. There's like a 20% absentee rate now in elementary and junior high schools. 20%. That means 20% of the kids aren't showing up. What do we do about that, Rod? It's something I think we should be looking at with law enforcement. The other thing, but what I'd like to see happen is so many of those kids are foster kids. Why can't we pull the license of the people that are the foster parents if they can't get the kids to school? There's a lot of nudges we should be looking at. Specifically, I want us to address grades 1 through 3. That's where the greatest impact lies. If they cannot read at the 3rd grade level when they leave the 3rd grade, they will die 10 to 20 years earlier. It's the pathway to prison. If they cannot read at a 3rd grade level when they leave the 3rd grade, that is the population that is most likely to be in prison. We're letting those kids down. It's certainly not a choice the children are making. I'd like us to get much more proactive rather than to just closing our eyes to it. And I think that's why a Women's Commission would be responsive to that. But I want the staff to figure out who's best to serve on that, who's going to actually do something, who's going to actually come up with ideas for us to implement. And guess who gets to head it? Lauren, in her spare time, will help with the staff in making certain that what that commission comes up with, we implement. All right? I would like us to, you guys are moving incredibly fast. I totally understand that. But let's move faster. The consequences are just too great if we don't, right? The other thing I've been talking to you about, we need the communications team to promote this city better than it has been. Why is that meeting June 11th and not sooner? You don't have to answer. I want that to be a priority, okay? And how are we doing on the toxic trolls on the internet? Have they come back, or?
We've opened up comments again, so there's less than we were dealing with prior to, but it is open forum again, and we've seen a much lesser volume of comments.
Good. We stay on top of that, and we respond factually every time one of these idiots puts something out that just isn't factually true. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Good, thank you. All right, that's the mayor's rant for the day. But I really want to see progress on it. I mean, I want an answer on that ambulance thing. Can we do this? And if we can't, we can't, but something's got to be done. Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
City manager. City manager.
What are you saying?
City manager.
Oh, city manager. That's right. It's your turn.
A couple quick updates. Lancaster Communities, update number one. The mayor you attended a green conference where you were the keynote speaker and you received an award. So we have a short video of that. We'll play that now.
It's a great pleasure to honor Mayor Paris today with what is going to be a very special award, which is the Green Mayor of the Year Award.
Mayor Paris shows the capability of local governments to advance sustainability and fortify our resilience against the challenges of climate change.
Lancaster has always been the place where we can do better. If it went to space, we built it. If it flew in the air, we built it. And so when we set out on this journey, of course we became the first net zero city. It's cheaper and it's safer. It's the most exciting adventure I could ever imagine. Thank you.
I wish I had combed my hair.
That was a great event. I don't know if you want to elaborate, but these are the type of things we're doing in hydrogen where Lancaster definitely has a name in the industry for sure.
Yeah, it's difficult for people to get their arms around hydrogen for lots of reasons. Just the name hydrogen. Well, they named a bomb after it. I get it. But it is going to be cheaper, and it is going to be safer, and we are going to control a vast amount of it. And that money comes into the coffers of the city. It'll go into the general fund. It can only improve everything. It's just going to take a little bit more time, but not much more time. I mean, it's becoming exponentially faster. And before I leave this chair, we're going to be, control's kind of not a word, but we will be influencing the hydrogen use in the western states by the time I leave. And I don't plan to be here all that much longer. So, okay.
Can we write a letter to Metrolink formally asking them to do their testing here for hydrogen?
Sure. I know Charlie's been working closely with them on that, and you. So yes, we can do that.
Good.
City clerk.
Okay, is that it?
That'll be it.
City clerk.
City clerk.
This is the time to address the City Council Agency Authority on non-agendized matters. Speaker cards may be found on the back table of the council chambers. If you have completed one, please ensure you have placed it in the basket so you may be recognized. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. Please keep in mind, state law prohibits City Council from acting on items not on the agenda, and your matter may be referred to the city manager. Thank you.
David Paul.
Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council, good evening. Forgot how much fun it was to come to Council. I really appreciate the innovation I see in the city and the cooperation. It's nice to live here. I saw a commencement address by the documentary filmmaker Ken Burns the other day, and I saw him on a show talking about projects he has for Leonardo da Vinci and George Washington, and I'm kind of excited about that. But his commencement address warns against what he sees are the troubles that are before our republic. You know, I used to decry the two-party system as identical heads of the same coin. There's some counterbalance in there, and we need counterbalance against chaos. But then there's the republic itself, which is built on the premise of three individual pillars of government that guard against anybody taking it over. And that's what Ken Burns was worried about and talking about. And, you know, it seems like it's impossible to co-opt the legislature and the courts. There's been a lot of stuff in the Supreme Court lately that makes people question whether they're an independent branch of government. But then the executive has to be involved branch. And I agree with Ken Burns. We're kind of on the edge of the impossible happening, and that would be the death knell of our republic. So it's a serious situation, and I don't have a solution other than to come to this meeting because I recently read that the definition of the Greek word idiot in its original form and one that does not participate in civic affairs. So that's our salvation, and so I get to come and bring my senior wisdom. I'm not as old as you guys, but it's fun. It's our way out of this mess to stay informed and involved, and I love coming here, and I thank you for everything this city and this council does.
Thank you. You know, he makes a point. If we did what the Supreme Court is doing, we'd be in prison. It just doesn't make sense to me. Well, some of the members of the Supreme Court. We would. We'd be in prison, right? Am I wrong about that, Allison?
Nope.
It's, who would have thought? Kevin Rojas.
Hello. Okay. Hi. My name's Kevin Rojas. Sorry, I'm kind of nervous. All right. Good evening, Mayor Paris, Vice Mayor Chris. Okay. I wanted to talk about.
We just call him the old guy. I mean,
okay. Okay.
He'll know who you're talking about.
Okay. My name's Kevin Rojas. I'm a student at ABC, and I wanted to recognize and appreciate the efforts towards for like small businesses. I had no idea about the app called Shop Local Open Rewards app, and moving forward, I will utilize this app, and yeah, thank you. Thank you. Sorry, I'm nervous.
Thank you. Hey, we want you to promote it too at the college. Would you do that?
I will.
Great. Thank you. Ramona Russum?
Russum. I'm Hugh White, Russum's daughter, and I live at 44916 10th Street West. We call it Arbor Court. It used to be what, a hotel? Ex's house? I've been a resident.
I couldn't hear you. You weren't on the mic.
Okay, my name is Ramona Russum, Ramona Kathleen Russum. I'm Hugh White Russum's daughter, and apparently it has something to do with my inheritance, but I'll get to that part later. I live at 44916 10th Street West, and that's Arbor Court Apartments. What I'd like to know is, since I've lived there, well, since Kensington Campus came out, I know you're affiliated with that part, right?
I'm sorry, say
It was
that
your
again.
idea, Kensington Campus?
I'm sorry, what are you talking about?
Kensington Campus on and 32nd Street West, next to the Veterans Place.
Oh, the homeless center, yes.
Oh, it's called the Homeless Center, or is it called an Interium? Interium, am I saying it right? It's really a hospital, which is left out from the public knowing that it's a hospital, because if you sign up with Kensington campus, with the people concerned, and what affiliation are Paris? I just want some answers. Are you with the people concerned? Who did they come out of? What program? What nonprofit program? Are they really scientists? That was my impression.
These are your 3 minutes.
Yeah, these are my 3 minutes. Okay, well, he's going to answer this, okay? Ever since I moved into Arbor Court, once I had told the General Relief Office that I wanted to go to school to become a trucker, and mind you that my son signs cancer, so I'm very outgoing, and I'm very positive, and I don't believe in insults, and I don't get insulted. I believe in the truth. And while I've been attacked, they call it the V2K weapon, voice-to-skull weapon. Now, I did all my research because I don't know how you guys like the law enforcement, but I sure in the hell don't, because they don't come out for me. Okay, you don't know me, Mayor, and I'm not an idiot. I've never been to prison, but yes, I have been homeless 2 different occasions out here. One, 9 years. 5 years between that, I took addiction studies. And then 10 years, but only out here in Antelope Valley. Now, I figured out your whole scheme in your, like your hydrogen, and I saw the symbol of Hawaii County. And I've been to one of the meetings when you had said, like Hawaii, is that the hydrogen part? Well, I've got a lot to say, and if there's any news reporters, or if you guys are all paid by RX Paris, my story, yes, I want to sue every one of you on the board because you induced mental health. You induced homelessness. You induced addiction, and you induced mental health because you did it to me. You did it to me, and I am very, very angry. You've made me a product of you.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you. Your time's up, okay? Thank you. Thank you. Sit down, please. Where's the switch?
We don't have one anymore.
And no, he needs to address this because law enforcement, you say no, and then is that donation, is it from the garbage, waste, garbage, they pillage through it to find like lettuce and that to give to the churches to feed the homeless? Are you serious? I seen your look on your face, Lauren. You was kind of disgusted over that.
All right, let's recess.
This is my life, and my life.
We vote on it?
Can we vote on it?
Unanimous vote.
Put it in late.
Oh. Fran,
It would be appropriate to reconvene the council meeting.
Oh, what?
Slam your thing.
Oh, okay,
Thank you.
we're back. Yeah, you're on.
Good evening, Mayor Paris, Vice Mayor Chris, members of the council, ladies and gentlemen, and of course the staff, the most important part of this whole county, our whole city. Thank you for having me. My name is Fran Sarasaris. First of all, on my agenda I have, thank you very much for the booster, Sheriff Booster fair you had. It was wonderful, and I learned how to play 21. With their money, with their, the chip that you gave us, and I want $33,000. Of course, this is all play money, folks. This is not for real, okay? I don't want to get a wrong impression here. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun. Everybody was having a good time. The food was good. But I also wanted to mention about I have a group, the Riders on the Move group, and I take seniors on Metrolink trips, day trips. We go once a month, and I also have to use Metro about 3 or 4 times a month because I have to go to my meetings down in LA. And the problems that they're having with Metrolink is, I don't know how to put it, it's not as dire as they're saying it is. It's bad, but it's not all that bad. And I take a lot of seniors, and I'm the mother hen of all of them, and I make sure that nobody's going to bother them, and we have no problems. And I usually take about 15 people at a time on the Metrolink. And, but I just want to let people know that, I mean, they're putting such a big scare on everybody about this, but they also have to remember this is just isolated incidents. It doesn't involve all the people that use the train system or the bus system. Well, okay. Anyway, thank you very much. I like talking with all of you. I like being in the city. And God be my guide, and hope I can keep on working for you guys. Thank you very much.
Fran, couldn't we solve the problem just by architecturally changing the cars so that, you could open the door and throw them out?
Good idea.
Just a thought.
Yeah. Yeah, it's granted it is a problem, but it's some things that people have to realize that it's happening everywhere, not only in our systems, it's everywhere. And the thing of it is to encourage people that we still have to live in the cities and use our transportation, even here in Lancaster and throughout the city. So, give it a shot. Don't be afraid. Come with me and I'll take care of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Sean Cannon. Last but not least.
Hi, Mayor. I wasn't gonna speak tonight, but I heard somebody talk about mental health, and I just wanted to tell you guys I'm very proud to be able to represent this city and the city council and things that we do. I don't know if you guys know, but May was actually Mental Health Awareness Month. And I'm also part of an organization called Soleil of the Community that's directed by Nashawn Mitchell, where we bring resources to the community, not just showing them what's already here in Lancaster and in the AV to tackle mental health, but also what you can do at home, or even whether it's yoga, Reiki, a drum circle. You'd be surprised how healing that is. But we brought that to one of our Lancaster parks. And like I said, I'm proud to represent the city of Lancaster, where we are taking action for mental health. But I think at this event, this is a Take Action LA for mental health with Cal Mesa and Soleil of the Community. The last one that we did was at Deputy Bain Park over here at 5th Street, Wheaton Avenue I. And yes, I did MC that event. I made sure that folks knew that the city of Lancaster supports anything that has to do with increasing awareness for mental health and connecting folks with resources. DMH was there, Parents Anonymous was there, Salva was there. We had a great time. I also want to shout out Malachi. Malachi is the parks employee that was there who represented the city of Lancaster even better than I could. Malachi was really hands-on and working with not only the participants, but with the vendors, helping us set up, helping us take down. And for me, that made me proud to see a city staff person not just there at the park, but actually being a part of what was going on at the park. So shout out to Malachi, and thank you so much to the Parks Department and to our City Council. There's so many opportunities for mental health here in the Antelope Valley. Go to Cal Mesa's website, search up Take Action LA. This was right across the street from the new mental health facility that's right there on Avenue I. So the city of Lancaster is a place where folks who want help can come and get help. I just wanted to drop that and let people know that we're still here, we're still helping folks, and there are resources here in Lancaster.
Thank you. Okay, I think that's it. The City Council will now move to closed session to discuss closed session items 1 through 40. Really? 1 through 40?
It's closer to 40 than usual tonight.
Wow.
All right, in closed session, the council took up closed session agenda items 2, 30, 31, 33 through 35, and 37 through 40, and authorized the initiation of litigation with regard to real property at 43900 Daniel Lane in the city of Lancaster, and authorized the filing of a appeal and petition for writ in the matter of the cities of Whittier versus Los Angeles Superior Court by unanimous vote on both of those actions. No further reportable action.